I've just got to tell you guys something for the small amount of people who have come over from the main channel to see something a little bit different, or perhaps one of the topics on this new channel has struck a chord with you and you have found something new to check out. You might notice that it's really just kind of scattershot. There's a whole bunch of different topics that I want to talk about, and now we're getting into something that was really a big game changer for me, and it wasn't that long ago. I really wasn't taking breathing all that seriously. There was no reason to really think of it in any sort of a serious context because it's something you do without thinking about it, and now that I brought that up, it's one of those things that's probably immediately going to start going to a more manual rate for you. My little gift to you, of course. But breathing is so terribly overlooked, and how important it is, because everybody, of course, when you're growing up, you take it for granted. It's something that happens automatically. It's something that is essential to your body. Without oxygen, without the nitrogen, without all of those wonderful things coming into your body, being exchanged with carbon dioxide, put it out there, and clean air is always important to be brought in. It cleanses your respiratory system, and then once you excrete all of the waste products that come out from it, and if you aren't doing it appropriately, well, it is so incredibly detrimental to your success. Whether you're exercising, whether you're just trying to live a life, whether you're trying to be de-stressed, it is something you should be working on, because the benefits of breathing properly are exponential, okay? I'm not saying everybody's going to turn into Wim Hof. If you don't know the name, he is the guy, he has claimed, he has photographic evidence that he climbed Mount Everest, I do believe, in nothing but bicycle shorts, because he has mastered the art of breathing. And it is so important, because everybody, just think of it this way, okay? Because I can tell you, and it's something else that we'd like to talk about on this channel here, as just a way of just making little improvements in your life that have such a big, high level improvement in the grand scheme of things. It's something as simple as, if you're standing up like I am during the presentation of this video, hey, all you need to do is just make sure that your feet are pointing forward. There's a little bit of a bend in your knees. You aren't leaning too far forward. You aren't leaning too far backwards. There's appropriate symmetry between your hips, your knees, your ankles, your shoulders, your ears, that you're standing with your chest out. Your shoulders are once again in that same sort of line, that your ears and your shoulders all the way down to your ankles are in a nice line, so that you can have appropriate stance, so you have maximum capacity for your lungs, so you can properly breathe from your diaphragm all the way up and excrete it out through your mouth. You breathe in and then you breathe out, because as you might have been able to notice, and I wouldn't advocate for this because you might come across as a bit of a creeper, but just think of it this way, okay? When you're a small child, kids just naturally know how to breathe. People naturally know how to breathe. I know, right? Breaking some really fresh ground here. But when a baby is young, stomach goes up when they take a breath in, and then once they breathe out, it all goes out, and then that stomach goes flat. Somewhere along the lines, that has really stopped being the case. People are breathing in, and then there's no movement. It all happens in the chest. What happened? It used to be when you were growing up, it was all happening in your diaphragm. It was all happening in the lower aspects. You were having maximum capacity in your lungs. Things were better. You were just more resilient to injuries. And then you start to slow down and you start to accumulate a bunch of different repetition-based injuries. And, well, that's because you might not be paying close enough attention to your breathing. I know, it sounds crazy, it sounds minuscule, but it's a really big game changer. And that's why we have this article pulled up here. Breathing away food binges. It sounds crazy, right? But breathing has so many effects if you just do it properly, if you take the time to learn and dig deep into it. There are plenty of great books out there. Wim Hof has a couple of them out there on that, but hopefully I can provide a little bit of insight for you when it comes to this topic. Modern science is affirming that ancient people knew about the profound impact of proper breathing. Around the world, masks are coming off and people are enjoying full, Deep breaths, once again. Those deep inhalations may be more important than you realize. While breathe work was once seen as the purview of ancient yogis and New Age gurus, scientific evidence now suggests that it can be used in a variety of common physical and mental afflictions, including addiction, trauma, pain, and acute and chronic stress. If that sounds difficult to accept, you may be overlooking the fact that your body runs on food, water, and air. Breathing is responsible for an endless series of biochemical reactions that keep you moving, thinking, and feeling. And while you can live for weeks without food and days without water, you can not live for more than a few minutes without air. So imagine what would be possible if we learned how to harness the most vital life source. And without using breath work for binge eating and food addiction. It does sound strange, doesn't it? Deep diaphragmatic, my mistake. Breathing is rarely cited as the primary tool of conventional treatment for binge eating and food addiction. Yet, there are studies that demonstrate how breath affects diverse mental afflictions and disorders. Interesting. Diaphragmatic. Gotta be able to see that G and not want to pronounce it. Breathing has a direct effect on lowering cortisol levels. Cortisol is sometimes known as the stress hormone. You can harness cortisol, but again, that's probably another topic for a different video. It is intimately tied to our flight or fight response and engages in sympathetic nervous system, which takes us out of the rest and digest state in the parasympathetic nervous system. That fact, among others, has given more mental health professionals incentive to incorporate breath work into their protocol. The very skill we teach clients who have struggled with binge eating and food addiction, sometimes for decades, is proper breath work. While we use other tools as well, our clients have reported significant shifts in their eating habits using breath work alone. Some of these shifts include feeling more peaceful and at ease around food, identifying hunger and fullness signals, regulating emotional responses around food, and relief from feelings of compulsion or obsession to eating when not hungry. Doesn't that sound like fun? Because I will just go ahead and I will take the curtain back a little bit. If you guys checked out the first video that's on the channel, I was a big dude. I was just about 400 pounds, okay? I definitely had a problem with food, okay? It's still tempting. I would still love to just subsist on nothing but cookies and cake and chocolate and Slurpees. It would be wonderful. But that doesn't lead to a life that is going to allow me to, I don't know, maybe hit middle age and hopefully around 50, if you know what I'm saying. I want to live a full, healthy, productive life. I don't want to make it to 100 just being kind of chemically aided or chemically pickled. I want to get there in a healthy, productive way. I want to look good for as long as I possibly can. Giving into those cravings, giving into that gluttonous behavior, that's not going to get you there. It's going to feel good in the interim, but the long-term effects of that, you're just putting off success. If something as simple as breathing is going to help that, it's worth checking out. Founder of Breathe Guidance and breathwork expert Danny May, different joke for a different channel, explained the science behind the occurrence of such significant shifts. Breath awareness studies tools, or supplies tools, my mistake, to acknowledge, measure, and adjust when you are feeling satisfied, anxious, or seeking distraction from comfort, May said. Your breath is directly related to both expressing and influencing your autonomic nervous system, and therefore symptoms like digestion and stress response. By increasing breath awareness and applying breath work, you can reduce your urge to binge as a response to the subconscious habit, patterns, and or stress. Focusing on your breath and physically altering your breath patterns can be used as a technique to anchor your mind and body into your present moment, allowing you to make conscious decisions from a place of self-awareness. Like it points out here, okay? Whenever you find yourself in a high-stress situation, what's one thing that somebody always tells you? Hey, Don, just take a second, take a deep breath, worry about it, take a second, okay? Simmer down. It'd be more flowery if we were on the main channel, but of course, you get the point. Taking a deep breath, that's been one of those things that has just been ubiquitous advice when it comes to getting your emotions in check. So why shouldn't craving management play into that? Makes a lot of sense. May explain the science behind this phenomenon. By increasing the length of your breathing rhythm, slow, deep breaths, you increase your CO2 tolerance, which is directly linked to your ability to handle stress and anxiety. Interesting. The higher your CO2 tolerance, the more equipped you will be to handle stress. Because patterns of binge eating, food addiction, and obsession have all stress as a common factor, Breathwork allows the practitioner to calm down, slow down enough to feel more in control of their mind and body. Exactly. And it also is another benefit of breathwork as well. Getting more oxygen in your body, getting out all of those built up toxins in your body, giving you that momentary boost in alertness, because a lot of binge eating, a lot of poor decisions happen when you're tired, when you're sleep deprived, okay? So if you sharpen up your oxygen intake, your air intake during your waking hours, you will be less likely to engage in bad decision making. There are additional positive side effects of breath work on both a physical and mental level. May has trained diverse types of health professionals to facilitate various types of breath work for their patients and clients. She said that with regard to those struggling with binge eating, breath work can help with regulating emotions and stress, as well as aid digestion, elimination, and other functions by supporting the body to maintain optimal functioning. By slowing and deepening your breaths, you're working out your thoracic diaphragm, which is the primary muscle for respiration. At least it should be when you're not just breathing from your chest doing short little breaths like that. Obviously, there are situations where you lose control of your diaphragm and your muscle systems that are there, but we're not talking about the extremes right now. We're talking about desk work. We're talking about sitting and listening. We're talking about traveling to and from work, okay? We're talking about the bulk of your day. And again, you get that under control, then you're less likely to lose control when those situations do arise. Wouldn't you want to be under better control of your emotions when a situation like that does arise? I think that'd be beneficial. This workout stretches and strengthens your diaphragm, which gives you increased capacity to massage your digestive organs like your stomach and intestines. Certain types of breathing patterns make digestion more efficient by encouraging intestinal action and supplying more blood and oxygen to the digestive process. Diaphragmatic breathing has been shown to support positive results in terms of emotional, mental, and physical benefits. May described why this may be the case. Diaphragmatic breathing has been shown to reduce stress hormones, relieve common GI complaints, and increase vagal tone. Those are the smooth muscles within your core, okay? Not, a little further south than that for half the population. One study found that the length of your inhale versus your exhale breath can affect your physical and mental state. Our clients learn diaphragmatic nasal breathing, with the duration of the exhale lasting longer than the inhale for a relaxation effect. May recommends this type of breathing pattern as well, citing the science behind it. Yes, it's commonly referred to as box breathing, okay? Not that type of box. Get your mind out of the gutter. And that's how we'll wrap this up here, okay? There are four phases when it comes to breathing, okay? You have your inhale, when you should be focusing on breathing right from your deepest part of your lungs into your abdomen, filling up your core, and then you hold it at the top. And then you have your exhale phase when you try to get every single bit of that breath out, and then you push and you use your core, you activate your core to crunch in. Try to get out as much air as possible, and then you hold it, and then you begin the cycle anew by breathing in, expanding the core, expanding your abdomen, expanding your diaphragm, holding it at the top. Repeat as necessary. Now, all four of those processes, there are several apps that are out there. If you want some guided breathing as well, that will count it down for you, but you can always use your own timing pattern. I would recommend starting out at a 4-4-4, 4 fours, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it at the top for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Obviously, we're going to be editing this down, and then hold it at the bottom for 4 seconds. Repeat as necessary. Maybe go through, I would say, how about 4 cycles of that? Think about it, focusing on your inhale being taking in air, expanding your core, expanding your diaphragm, expanding your lung capacity itself. And then once you exhale, after your hold pattern, then you focus on getting rid of all of that. Just think of everything being squeezed out of all of that excess air that's been in there since like Thursday of last week. It's Thursday today. Who knows when you're watching this? It could be a whole hell of a lot later. But something as simple as that, especially if you're out running, you're doing any sort of cardiovascular exercise, all you need to do is just think about your breathing, getting that pattern back on track. You'll be feeling better in no time. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.